middle term in the expansion of 1 plus x to the power 2n is 1 times, 3 times, 5 times and so on until 2n minus 1 divided by n factorial times 2 to the power n x to the power n. Okay, so you have to prove this. So what is your n? Your n is even because it is 2n. So your power is 2n which is even. So what is your middle term? Your middle term is n divided by 2 plus 1 when the power is even, correct? So this is n plus 1. So what is your middle term? It is t of n plus 1 where r is equal to 1 because this is of the form t of r plus 1. Clear? What is t r plus 1? It is n c r a to the power n minus r b to the power r. Now substituting this, I have t n plus 1 equals, what is my n? Power n 2n. So 2n c to the r n, my r is n times, what is my a? My a is 1 times 2n minus n. What is my b? It is x to the power n. So 1 to any power is 1 itself. So I have 2n cn which is 2n factorial divided by n factorial times 2n minus 1 which is n factorial times 1 times x to the n. Now I am going to open this factorial. So what do I have? 2n times 2n minus 1 times 2n minus 2 and so on times 3 times 2 times 1 divided by n factorial times x to the n. Now what happens? I am going to separate the even and the odd terms. So I have 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. to n minus 1. So I have 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. up to 2n minus 1 times 2, 4, 6, 8, 2n minus 2, 2n. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8 times 2n minus 2 times 2n. The whole divided by n factorial times n factorial times x to the n. Don't forget that in the numerator. Okay. So now I have this which is 1, 3, 5 times 2n minus 1. So how many 2's do I have inside? This is 2 power 1. This is 2 power 2. This is 2 power 3. This is 2 power 4 and so on. So I'm going to take 2 from each term. So how many 2's will I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 until n terms. So I have 2 to the power n 2's. I have n 2's. So it is 2 to the power n. Okay. So it's 2 into 2 into 2 into until n terms. This is n. So I have 2 to the power n. 2 to the power n. Bracket lo what will I have? When I take 2 of this, I have 1. 4 length 2 edutha, I'll be left with 2. 6 length 2 edutha, I'll be left with 3 and so on. And what is my final term? My final term is n times x to the n divided by n factorial. Okay. Now what is this term? This remains the same. So it's 1 times 3 times 5 and so on until 2n minus 1. I have another n factorial here. Okay. Now I have 1 times 2 times 3 up to n. What is this? 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 up to n is n factorial times 2 to the n times x to the n divided by n factorial, n factorial. So I'm cancelling the n factorial and n factorial. So I'm left with 1 into 3 into 5 until 2n minus 1 times 2 to the n x to the n divided by n factorial. Hence proved. So what did I do? I have the power to be 2n which is even. So what is my middle term? It is n by 2 plus 1 which is, what is my n in this case? It is 2n. So 2n by 2 plus 1. 2 gets cancelled, n plus 1. So what is my middle term? It is t of n plus 1. T n plus 1 where r equals 1 because my general form is t of r plus 1. So my r is n. Right? So when I substitute in this formula, t of n plus 1 is 2n which is the power cn which is r times 1 to the 2n minus 1 x to the n because my x is b. My a is 1. Okay. So when I open this, I have 2n factorial divided by n factorial times 2n minus n which is n factorial times x to the n. This goes up because this is just 1. So when I try to open this, I have 2n times 2n minus 1 until 1 times x to the n. So I'm separating the even and the odd terms. In the next step, I'm taking 2 out of every term. I'm taking out 2 from this. In the 4 lane over 2, in the 3 lane over 2, in the 8 lane over 2, 2n minus 2 lane over 2, 2n lane over 2. So how many 2's do I have? I have 2 to the power n 2's, okay? And I'm left with 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 and so on until n. So 1 times 2 times 3 till n is n factorial. So this n factorial and this n factorial goes off. So I'm left with what is needed, okay? So hence proved. Example 7. Find the coefficient of x to the 6, y to the power 3 in the expansion x plus 2y to the power 9. So what is my a? It is x. What is my b? It is 2y. What is my n? It is 9. What is my number of terms? 10. Okay. So now what is your tr plus 1? It is ncr of a to the n minus r, b to the r. So I need this to be x to the power 6 times y to the power 3. So what is my r? My r is 3. On comparing these two, my r is 3. So which term should I find out? T of 3 plus 1 equals 9c3 a to the power 9 minus 3 times 2y to the power 3. So this is what is needed. This is how you find out. So T4 equals what is 9c3? 9 factorial divided by 3 factorial times 6 factorial. X to the power 6 times what is 2 cube? 8 y cube. Okay? 2y the whole cube is 8y cube. What is this? 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 factorial divided by 3 into 2. The 6 and the 6 goes off. Okay? So it is 6 factorial divided by 6 factorial. So this goes off. So this gets cancelled. 3 times 3 and this gets cancelled. 2 times 4 times x power 6 times 8y cube. So what do I have? I have 3 times 4 times 7 times 8. Don't forget this 8. So I have 3 into 4 into 7 into 8 times x to the 6 y cube. So I have 672 times x cube times x to the 6 y cube, and this is my coefficient. So my coefficient of x power 6 y power 3 is 670. Okay.